Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder? A feeling that something ancient and wise is watching over you? Well, one night, that feeling vanished. All across the world, people gazed upwards and fell silent. The moon was still there, a familiar silver disk hanging in the darkness, but it was hollow. It had no light. It wasn't broken. It wasn't hidden. Behind clouds, it was simply empty, as if its very soul had been scooped out. The stars, usually so bright and confident, seemed to whisper nervously amongst themselves. The wind moved with a new kind of hesitation, a quiet fear that rustled through the trees. It was a world plunged into an unfamiliar, unnerving darkness. High in the mountains, far from the silent cities, lived a young boy named Noah. He was a child of the night sky. Every single evening, before drifting off to sleep, he'd sit by his window and have a silent conversation with the moon. To him, the moon wasn't just a rock in space, it was alive, a gentle guardian watching over the sleeping world. So when he saw the moon hanging there, a lifeless silhouette against a sea of anxious stars, his heart sank. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that something was terribly wrong. The world felt incomplete, like a story with its final page torn out. As he sat there in the quiet of his room, a profound sadness washing over him, he heard it. A voice so soft it was almost a thought seemed to drift in on the fearful wind. It wasn't a voice he recognized, yet it felt as ancient as the mountains themselves. It whispered, "I am lost." Noah, though startled, wasn't afraid. He leaned closer to the window, his own voice a hushed whisper in the darkness. "Who are you?" he asked the night. There was a pause, a moment of deep cosmic silence, and then the voice returned, filled with a sorrow that seemed to echo through eternity. "It's me, the moon. I have lost my light." Hearing those words, something inside Noah shifted. There was no hesitation, no doubt, only a clear sense of purpose. He wasn't just a boy looking at the sky anymore. He was a friend on a mission. He quickly grabbed his well-worn backpack, stuffing it with a small water skin and a piece of bread. Then he took his most prized possession, a small lantern with a single, sturdy candle inside. With the lantern clutched in his hand, he walked out into the cold night and headed straight for the ancient forest, a place of legend and mystery. It was said that the paths within that forest were not fixed. They appeared only to those who were brave enough to follow them and whose hearts were true. As soon as Noah stepped under the canopy of the ancient trees, the world changed. The air grew thick and heavy, smelling of damp earth and secrets. The trees, gnarled and ancient, seemed to lean in closer, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching for him. Shadows danced and writhed at the edge of his lantern's glow, moving on their own, untethered to any object. The very ground beneath his feet felt unstable, shifting with every step he took. It was a place designed to test the courage of anyone who dared to enter. Just as a flicker of fear began to creep into his heart, a flash of silver caught his eye. A bird with feathers that shimmered like polished silver landed on a branch just ahead of him. It tilted its head, its eyes like tiny, intelligent beads of light. It didn't chirp or sing. Instead, its voice entered Noah's mind, clear as a bell. "The moon's light is not lost, brave one," it communicated. It was stolen. Stolen. The thought had never occurred to Noah. The silver bird continued, explaining that a creature made of pure shadow, a being that feared the light more than anything, had taken it. The creature believed that by hiding the moon's light, it could finally live in the complete and total darkness it craved. The bird then flapped its shimmering wings and disappeared back into the gloom, leaving Noah with this new, startling truth. With renewed determination, Noah pushed deeper into the forest. His journey was a series of trials. He came to a river that flowed with water as black as ink, a river that showed no reflection of the sky or the trees or even his own face. The only way to cross was to step onto the stones with unwavering faith. He walked through winding paths that would only open when he spoke a simple, honest truth aloud into the darkness. "I am afraid," he admitted once, and a new path immediately cleared before him. Fear was his constant companion, a cold shadow that followed him, whispering doubts in his ear. But he kept going, his small lantern a beacon of defiance. He thought of the world above, of all the people and animals who felt the absence of the moon's gentle glow, and he knew he could not turn back. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the forest opened up into a deep, dark valley. It was a basin of absolute blackness, a place where no light had ever touched. And there, at the very bottom, he saw it, a formless, shifting creature of shadow, clutching a glowing sphere that pulsed with a soft, familiar silver light. It was the moon's light held captive. As Noah approached, the shadow creature reeked. "The light hurts," it rasped, its voice like grinding stones. "It burns, so I took it away, so I could have peace." The creature wasn't monstrous in its anger, but in its pain. It was a being defined by what it feared. Noah looked from the pained shadow to the captured light, and he understood. He could have fought. He could have tried to snatch the light back by force, but he didn't. Instead, he took a step forward, reached down to his own small lantern, and blew out the flame, plunging them both into near total darkness. He sat down on the cold ground, cross-legged, facing the creature. "Light doesn't defeat darkness by fighting it," Noah said, his voice calm and steady. "It exists alongside it. Maybe you don't need to get rid of the lights. Maybe you just need to understand it." The shadow creature fell silent. For the first time in the dim glow of its stolen treasure, it didn't look menacing or powerful. It just looked lonely. Slowly, carefully, Noah reached out and touched the glowing sphere. The light didn't resist. Instead, it responded to his gentle, empathetic touch. With a soft hum, the light gently divided into two parts. One part, brilliant and whole, soared out of the valley, ascending high into the sky. Across the world, people gasped as the moon was suddenly reignited, its familiar, comforting glow restored. But the other part of the light remained. It was a smaller, softer glow, and it settled around the shadow creature, not burning it, but warming it. It became a part of the creature, a gentle inner fire that dispelled its fear without destroying its nature. That night, the moon shone again, perhaps not brighter than before, but warmer, kinder. And down in the valley, the shadow was no longer an enemy of the light, but a guardian of the quiet night, forever carrying its own small piece of the moon. Noah returned home, the ancient forest's paths guiding him safely out. When he looked up at the sky, he saw the moon, full and bright, and he knew it was watching over him, just as he had always believed. He had learned a profound lesson. Sometimes, light isn't lost because it's weak. Sometimes it's hidden away by someone who never learned how to live with its warmth, someone who just needed a friend to show them how. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.